Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Siti Ansha binti Muhammad Yusof and my matric number is 2020987765. So today I will present about the Salient Shariah issue in the contemporary application of Bithaman Ajil, which is BBA. Bithaman Ajil (BBA) refer to the sale and purchase transaction of an asset to be paid on later date with deferred payment based on a price, which include a profit margin agreed by both contracting parties, a method of installment sale adopted by the some Islamic banking. According to the BBA, the bank arranged to provide an asset on credit, the credit price being higher than cash price but the ownership of the asset is passed on to the client immediately. The bank agrees to revise back its money as in installment. Other than the Bithaman Ajil PPA also known as the first one is Bay al Nasya which means waiting. The second one is Bay al Taqsid which means installment and the third one is Bal Muajil deferred payment sales and the last one is Al Bay lil Ajal deferred sales schemes. The pillars of Bithaman Ajil. So the first one is what should we have in BBA? The first one is seller and buyer. The most important in BBA. If there has non-seller and buyer, so it's a void contract. So in the seller and buyer, there must the age of property, mu'alaf and intelligent. The second one is subject matter. Is subject matter is existed properly under the act of the sale and purchases, which means the buyer must have the right or legal status of the subject matter. So the third one is price. Price must be amount that agreed by both parties which is buyer and seller and the price must be clearly unknown. So and the last one is akad. Akad is a offer and acceptance among the buyer and the seller. Okay, for the next slide is main issue of the Bithaman Ajil BBA. So the first one is value payment categorization. The unclear situation in the initiation of the contract is gara to make the contract invalid as in the case which is purchasers change his or her mind and willing to discontinue the transactions under which mode this amount will be treated. The ambiguity in the mode of payment as commitment fee is the first Shariah issue in the transactions. Okay, the second one is a Bithaman Ajil certainly looks like a riba an-nasiah, which is mean when the buyer fails to pay to the seller, then seller charge some amount on its late payment because of the nature of riba in injustice of to the buyer and just give benefit to the reseller. The act of charging some amount is for the late payment is called as riba, especially riba nasiah, because this factor in BBA is reasonably riba nasiah in other way of the increment of the purchaser's price if the buyer could not pay it on time within the agreed period. The riba involved when the buyer bought something on debt, but then he could not afford to pay it back in agreed periods. So it's occurred that transaction between some institutions that sell something on debt and deferred payment. Okay, and the last one, the third one is asset owner legal status. The customer has been given only the beneficiary ownership the house, which is yet to put. But when the customer approached the bank, he sell to the bank without having a ownership and the bank will resell the house at the cost plus at markup also create the charger and legal ownership of the house which is asset. There is major Sharia as without having the legal ownership the asset that you cannot transact such as asset as it for in Sharia. Okay, next is the solution issue of the vitamin Ajil PBA. So the first one, what we should do is inform the authorities. Every manner of commitment fee collection must be specifically outlined in the contract so that there are no misunderstanding among the parties. The bank must be advised by regulatory authorities that the contract clause must be explicitly stated in the matter of commitment fee collection. In order to avoid any confusion among the public, the notion is also recognized by the legal system, where the payment is either lost as in urban or returned if damage are recovered as in Hamish Judea. As a result, the contract amendment will benefit not just Muslim but also non-Muslim. The second one is penalty as charity. Banks are permitted to utilize the delay payment amount as a refund in order to offset the costs incurred throughout the process of recovery, such as letter, telephone conversation, and email.